Okay, so for law of agency, since we are not touch this topic at all, so we start from the beginning. Okay. So for the law of agency also will use or will refer to Contra Acts 1915. Okay. And what is important under the topics of law of agency is that we have to understand to form an agency we need three parties to involve in order to form an agency. Untuk membentuk satu agensi memerlukan tiga pihak iaitu um, principal, agent and also third party. Okay. Principal, agent and also third party. Section 135 of the Contra Acts 1950 defines an agent as a person employed to do any act for another or to represent another in dealings with third persons. So we understand from here that an agent will work for principal. There will be employer for an agent. An agent will be hired by principal to do certain tasks, and the agent is considered as middle person. Um, kita katakan orang tengah, okay, middle person, and the agent will link the principal with the third party. Agent inilah yang akan menghubungkan pihak ketiga dan juga principal. And for this relationship, okay, between principal, agent, and also third party, only two contracts exist. Only two contracts exist. Okay, whereby we have a contract of employment between principal and agent, and the contract between principal and third party. So there is no such contract. It is clear from here that there is no such contract between agent and third party. The contract only exists between principal and agent. Di mana principal akan melantik agent, so we have an employment contract there, and a contract between principal and third party. So whatever action taken by the agent will be liable by the principal. Yeah. Principal yang akan bertanggungjawab terhadap tindakan agent, because agent work for him or her. Yeah. Agent will work for principal, and agent will take task and instruction from the principal. So an agency relationship is formed between principal and agent, and also principal and third party, and then it must based on the relationship of fiduciary. There's based on trust there, and normally all employees who deal with third parties are considered as an agent. Okay, for example, kata you pergi ke bank, okay, you go to a bank, and then you meet a front officer there, okay, front officer at the counter. So you will be considered as third party. You consumer will be considered as third party. Front officer is considered as an agent, and the principal will be the bank. So in this situation, okay, in this kind of situation, we know that okay, there is only two contract exists between the principal and agent, and also principal and third party. So segala tindakan middle person, i.e. agent, the principal will be liable as long as the agent act within the scope of job that has been instructed by the principal. Okay, selagi mana agent bertindak dalam skop kerja yang ditetapkan, maka principal akan bertanggungjawab. So this one what has been explained by me just now again. So no consideration is necessary to create an agency. Okay, based on section 138, Contra Acts 1915, and no consideration is necessary to create an agency. So if an agent voluntarily act as an agent to a principal, so there may be no consideration. But if a principal or employer employed or hired an agent, there must be remuneration, there must be commission there. So ada consideration kat situ. Tapi ada juga situasi di mana agent yang volunteer to work for a principal, so there may be no consideration. So that's why section 138 state that no consideration is necessary to create an agency. And for creation of agency, we have several types of method to create an agency, to form an agency. An agency can be formed by express. By express means that there must be black and white agreement between principal and also agent. There must be contract of employment as a basis or foundation. If an agency is formed based on express, kita katakan pembentukan agensi secara nyata. So kena ada black and white document, kena ada formal document where the principal employed or hire the agent. So it can be through words, spoken or written. It can be through words, spoken or written. And in terms of implied creation of agency, by way of implied, we will look at the circumstances and the conduct of the parties where the authority is inferred from things spoken or written or from the ordinary course of dealings. For example, if a manager come to an occasion and he bring with him a secretary, so that secretary will be considered as an agent to the manager. So impliedly bila mana pengurus bawa seorang sekretari kepada satu majlis dan kita katakan secara tersirat, pembentukan agensi secara tersirat wujud dekat situ. That manager only have to introduce that secretary to the person who attend that occasion, dan dia tak perlu terangkan kepada ataupun inform pada orang lain bahawa this is his agent or not. So kita faham secara impliedly bila mana pekerja datang bersama majikan, so that employee or worker is considered as an agent to the employer. So kita katakan secara tersirat, implied. And to look at let us look at one case, the case of Chan Yin-Ti versus William Jacks and Co. In order to understand the concept of creation of agency by express and also implied here. This case, in fact, laid down the principle of creation of certain creation of agencies. Kes ini menetapkan pembentukan kepada beberapa agensi. We can use the same case, case Chan Yin-Ti versus William Jacks and Co. untuk creation of agency by express, implied and also estoppel. There are 5 methods of creation of agency beside of express and implied. We have a creation of agency by necessity or emergency, pembentukan agensi secara kecemasan, creation of agency based on estoppel, and also creation of agency by ratification. So untuk case Chan Yin-Ti, please put a note, ada nota you all lah, letakkan dekat situ. Untuk this case, we can use this case for creation of agency by express, implied and also by estoppel. Kenapa saya katakan case ini boleh digunakan untuk ketiga-tiga pembentukan agensi. Let us look at the fact of the case. In this case, where one of the partners, Yong, merupakan partner kepada Chan Yin-ti, and he is a minor. Kalau you lihat kat sini, nama Yong tak timbul pun dekat citation of the case. Chan Yin-ti versus William Jack Sanko. No such name of Yong appear there. But the story also involve Yong, where Yong is a partner to Chan Yin-ti and Yong is a minor. So we can understand here. The principal. The principal must be a matured adult person, sound mind, but an agent could be a minor. So in this case, Yong is considered as an agent to Chan Yin-ti. Dan pembentukan agensi secara express, we can see based on the statement, he even held a joint or current account with Chan. So jelas menunjukkan bahawa Yong merupakan partner kepada Chan Yin-ti. Dan Yong, in one occasion, Yong represented himself as a partner during a business transaction with a respondent's company, i.e. William Jacks lah. Bila masa Yong hadir dalam satu majlis, and he represent himself as a partner to Chan Yin-ti during a business transaction with William Jack Sanko. So dalam situasi ni kita kata secara impliedly, Chan pada waktu tersebut ada pada majlis tersebut, dan Chan pun tak menafikan bahawa Yong merupakan partner dia. And the goods were then supplied to Yong. Dalam transaksi bisnes tersebut, Yong make a deal with the company, William Jack Sanko, and goods were then supplied to Yong. The respondent, i.e. William Jack Sanko, later on sued for the price and obtained judgment against the appellant and Yong. Bila mana barangan telah dihantar, telah disupplykan kepada Yong, kegagalan pembayaran berlaku dekat situ. And tindakan diambil terhadap Chan Yin-ti and also Yong. Yong appeal, but court held that irrespective of whether Yong was the appellant's partner, the appellant had held out Yong as his agent with authority to do things on his behalf, and for whose act the appellant was liable. So dalam situasi ini, bila mana William Jack Sanko bawa kes ke mahkamah untuk claim bayaran kepada goods that were supplied to Yong, dinamakan Chan Yin-ti dan juga Yong sebagai defendant in this case lah. Dan court held that bila mana Yong dah represent diri dia sebagai partner kepada Chan Yin-ti, dan there is no objection from Chan Yin-ti, then impliedly the other people who attend that occasion, that transaction, believe that Yong is considered as an agent to Chan Yin-ti, and Chan Yin-ti will be liable to whatever action done by Yong. So Chan Yin-ti also cannot stop. Stop means that cannot in this case Chan Yin-ti juga ditahan. Stop from denial. Dia ditahan daripada menafikan bahawa Yong adalah agent dia. Sebabnya tak ada bantahan daripada Chan bila mana Yong perkenalkan diri dia sebagai partner kepada Chan dalam kes ini. So in this case, we can use 3 methods of creation of agency from only one case. So case ni boleh jadi basis untuk the creation of agency by express, the creation of agency by implied, and also the creation of agency by estoppel. So dalam sekiranya seorang majikan tidak menafikan seorang pekerja ataupun agent dia dalam satu majlis, bila mana orang tu perkenalkan diri sebagai agent, then that person is as top. Okay, dia ditahan daripada denial, okay, menafikan that person is an agent. That mean by estoppel. Yeah. And case Chan Yin-ti versus William Jackson and Co ni laid down, okay, several principle juga berkenaan dengan di mana a principal must be a person who attain the age of majority, must be adult, must be a sound mind person, yeah, because a principal will employ an agent, but an agent can be minor, okay, can be minor, and it depends on the principal. If the principal freely, okay, accept minor as an agent, so that principal also have to bear the consequences, okay, where the principal has to bear all the liabilities, okay, from the action taken by the agent. Is that clear, class? Penerangan untuk 3 pembentukan agensi dulu before we go to another 2 types of creation of agency. Okay, so satu case ini kita boleh gunakan untuk 3 basis creation of agency. Okay, so just take note there. Yeah. And agency by necessity. Okay, agency by necessity means that the creation of agency based on an emergency, where in this situation there are certain requirements that has to be fulfilled by the agent before the creation of agency by necessity can be executed. So for example, okay, di mana agent tak boleh menghubungi, impossible to get instruction from the principal, and the agent also act in good faith, okay, or act in bona fide. Maksudnya agent bertindak secara niat yang suci, and the action done by agent also to prevent loss to the principal. Okay. Bila mana agent tak dapat instruction daripada principal dan agent terpaksa memikirkan suatu tindakan yang tidak menyebabkan kerugian kepada pihak principal. So that's why kita katakan the creation of agency based on necessity or emergency. Pembentukan agensi secara keperluan ataupun secara kecemasan. And agency by ratification. Ini secara surface dulu, nanti kita pergi apa ni, slide yang